Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are a new real estate agent, in this video, I'm gonna tell you how you can beat an experienced agent on a listing presentation. Let's go. I wrote several things down, so I want to make sure I cover every point with you. Stay here till the end, because in the beginning, some of the things you're going to hear refer to preparation. That's important. You need to be well prepared, but I'm going to tell you exactly what to do as well. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take the listing presentation script, my listing presentation script, because it's the most effective one, and chant that script out loud every day for at least minimum standard is 30 minutes. You have to do this because guess what? For you to beat an experienced agent on listing presentation, when you show up, you need to know what to say. And you need to understand why you're saying it and how you need to say it. And in order to do that, you need to practice. And reading the script out loud is one of the best ways for you to internalize the script. It's not going to happen in one day. And it's probably not going to happen in a week, but probably in a couple of weeks you will have the entire script internalized. I did that. I used to spend an hour a day for the first couple of years of my real estate career, just reading scripts out loud as fast as I could for an hour. Like, I look insane. If anybody looked at me, it's like she lost her mind. Yes, because I knew that is what was required. Second thing I want you to do is I want you to immediately, even if you don't have the script internalized, you could actually have it in front of you and look at it, read it if you have to. And you should do this minimum once a week. Make a video of yourself presenting to someone, a friend, a family member, another agent in your office, your broker, whatever. Find someone that you can sit with. Pretend they're the seller. You are the agent. Dress prepared for a listing presentation and go do it. Go act as if this is a real seller. Videotape with your phone. This is not complicated. And then I want you to watch that video and critique yourself. Now, what are you going to be looking for when you're critiquing yourself? There are a few things I want you to focus on. By the way, time out. On my YouTube channel, there is at least one, probably more than one, video where you could see me doing a listing presentation. There's definitely a FISBO one. I've recorded others. I don't know if they're uploaded yet. The bottom line is, go watch it. Go hear and see what I sound like, how I present. What you want, one thing you want to make sure is that, and this is going to be a work in progress. The first time you do this, probably going to sound horrible and look terrible, and that's okay. Because this is something you've never done. You're a new real estate agent. It's normal. It's to be expected. But you want to make sure that every week when you videotape and you watch it, you're improving on some of the things that you saw in the previous one that need work on. What you say and your body language needs to match. So when you ask a question like, this is just an example, right? You say, Mr. Seller, do you feel confident that I can sell your house? You see how I'm nodding yes and I'm smiling? I don't go, are you confident that I can sell your house? Like really weird and shaking my head no. What I'm saying is the way it doesn't match, the audio and video don't match. If I have this body language, when I ask, the seller is gonna look at me and say, no, I'm not, because it's weird. It causes them to hesitate. So you definitely want to look for that. Another thing you want to pay attention when you're critiquing yourself is, are you using downswings. Downswings are the tonality at the end of your sentences go down. I do that all the time. If you watch my videos like this one here, I'm always using down swings. Why? Because first of all, I'm conditioned to do it. I've been in real estate for 26 years, so I didn't talk like this when I started in real estate. I had no clue what I was doing. So I've conditioned myself. I don't have to think about it. It's just the way it comes out. It gives you authority. When you speak with a downswing, it makes people feel like you know what you're talking about. So you want to avoid upswings. That's an upswing. It makes people doubt what you are saying. So it takes your authority away. So these are two really important things that I want you to pay attention to for now. Audio and video match, and make sure you're speaking with downswings. You're going to have to work on this to make sure that you are improving over time. The third thing I want you to do is how you're going to beat an experienced agent is you want to make sure that you pre-qualify your listing appointments. You set an appointment. Someone is willing to meet with you. You must pre-qualify. My pre-qualifying script, I have it here. Let me grab it. It's short. It's one page. There are 11 questions on it. And there's 12, but the last one is not a question. It's just a statement. I look forward to meeting with you, and I'm confident that when we meet, you clearly see why we should be working together. That's not a question. It's a statement. So it's a short script. You want to ask all of these questions. Again, there are other videos on my channel where I pre-qualify and I go through the pre-qualifying script, so you can go look for those videos if you don't know what I'm talking about. There are a couple of questions on the pre-qualifying script that I want to talk to you about. One of them is, are you planning on interviewing any other agents for the job of selling your house? That is an exception where you use an upswing, because you want them to doubt that interviewing other agents is a good idea. So an upswing will do that. Now, watch. Don't be too concerned about the way you use an upswing or a downswing. If you're in doubt, always err with a downswing. Always err on the side of a downswing. This one, because you want to create doubt, an upswing is appropriate, but if you say it with a downswing, it's not going to be the end of the world. Okay, now, what if they tell you they are? You need to ask, I'm just curious, Mr. Seller, who are the agents that you're going to be interviewing? Because you want to know who your competition is. And when you find out who your competition is, you're going to go in your multiple listing service and you're going to do what I call a report card on those agents. You're going to gather information. How many homes did this agent sell in the last 12 months? Were they listing sold or buyer sales? Is this a team or is it an individual agent? Based on their license number, you could even go through your state information and find out how long they've been in real estate. What is their, of the last 12 months sales, the list to sales price ratio, the average days on market. You want to find out how many listings they took that expired last year. This is all information that you want to have with you, because when you get to the end of your presentation, if they're not ready to sign, which if you do a great job, they should, because they're interviewing other agents, you're gonna say, Mr. Seller, since you mentioned to me over the phone that you were interviewing banana real estate guy, I took the liberty to look up some of their information because I thought it might be helpful for you in making the decision of who you should hire. And this is how you would introduce the stats that you found out if you need to. So this is a way for you to be better prepared. If you're not prepared, listen, you're new to real estate. One of my favorite quotes, and I'm a motivational quote junkie, is luck happens when preparation meets opportunity. This listing appointment is an opportunity for you, and you're gonna get lucky enough to take this listing the better prepared you are. And I want you to think about this. Every successful business on the planet know who their competition is and what their competition does and what they offer and how what they do and their services are an advantage to the customer in comparison to their competitor. Now, you're brand new, so you're probably wondering, well, even if they sold 3 houses last year, which is not much, I haven't sold any. Use your company statistics when you're comparing, okay? So you're going to use your company stats until you build your own. Now, here's another question that you might have, right? It's not a question on the pre-qual script. If they are interviewing other agents, should I be the first one to come in and go on the appointment, or should I go last? You need to ask questions to determine whether it's best for you to go first and go last. And I don't want to overcomplicate this for you. I'm going to say that as a rule, you should go first, because when you go first, if you do a great job on your appointment, you can take this listing even if they have other agents scheduled after you. Okay, there might be some exceptions to this where it might be appropriate for you to go last, but that's an exception. So as a rule, you want to go first. You want to do an amazing job. Now, the next thing I wrote down is when you get to this listing appointment, there are several videos on my channel on the listing presentation. There's one I'm role-playing the listing presentation, so you can go watch that as well. The most important thing that I want to make it come across to you right now is the foundation of your listing presentation has to be, what do you do differently from other agents? Because this is critical. This is critical even when you're an experienced agent, but when you're brand new, even more. Why? Because if you don't do anything differently and you're not able to express that to the seller, so let's put you and this other agent they're interviewing on a scale and you're equal, okay? You don't do anything different. You both do the same thing. And this agent is much more, I'm having trouble balancing this. Let's say it's perfectly balanced. And this is you and this is the experienced agent. You all do the same. This agent, their experience is gonna get them the listing just because they've been doing this longer than you. So the seller, if especially sometimes the seller doesn't even know and they don't even ask how long you've been in real estate. I mean, this objection is more in your head than in their head. If you start getting weird and acting weird and hesitating, then they might ask. But if everything is equal, the other agent that has more experience will probably take the listing because that might be a deciding factor in the end. So you need to make sure that you explain clearly to the seller what you do differently. So you may do everything else that all the other agents do. What sets you apart is the following. You are an active and aggressive agent. You are on the phone looking for buyers and sellers every day, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. until noon. You speak to 40 to 50 people a day. You're a prospector. You're a go-getter. You are talking to as many people as you can, and you know that that's going to increase the chances of selling their home. And you need to be able to explain this to them in detail, how you do it, who you call, what you say, how it works, cross-selling, all of it. Again, there are some videos on my channel where I explain that. You got to go look for it, and you got to learn this stuff, because again, if you're the same as everybody else, then I don't know how you compete. Now, here's another point under what you do differently. You want to make sure that this seller understands that you're presenting to that you may be, if they ask you and they know you're new to real estate, you may be new to real estate, but you are hungry. You are determined. You're committed. And because you're fairly new to real estate, unlike an experienced agent, whether they have a team or not, that might have 5 or 10 listings, you, Mr. Seller, will be my one and only priority. You're not going to be competing with for my attention with 5 or 10 or 20 other listings that some of these agents have. Because when you think about it, okay, you list with this agent, and now what? Where are they going to spend their time? Who are they gonna, which property are they gonna focus on selling? Mr. Seller, you are my one and only priority. You and I both know there's a buyer for your house out there. I am going to find them. I am determined, I am committed, and I am confident that I am the best agent in this marketplace to get your property sold. You gotta be able to talk like that. And to do that, you're gonna need to practice this. You need to be ready to go. You cannot show up and like, well, I don't know. No, you don't win like that. And then if the agent you're competing against is someone who has a big team, I love this script. You see, Mr. Seller, I know you mentioned that you're going to talk to this agent and they have a team and they have several people on their team. And the advantage for you in working with me, Mr. Seller, I am a single agent. I am going to take care of you and take care of your transaction from beginning to end, every step of the way. These agents that have a big team, it's like you're in an assembly line. You speak with them when you list the property, and then next thing you know, next week somebody else calls you, and then somebody else calls you, and every step of the way you're talking to somebody different. You don't want that. I'm sure you would rather have continuity and have the same person that you're hiring be the one that's handling the whole transaction for you. That's exactly what I'm going to do for you, Mr. Seller. This is brilliant. I love it. Here's the next thing I want you to write down. This is critically important. People make decisions when they're excited about the future. Their decision to list with you is going to happen when they get excited about what you can do for them. And they're going to get excited when you are excited. Because if you're there and you're like, low energy and what do you think? No, they're not going to get excited like that. That's not what they're looking for. Motivated sellers are looking for an aggressive agent, someone who is high energy, enthusiastic, who's passionate and believe in what they're doing. And you need to show up like that. The fact that you're new has nothing to do with your level of energy, enthusiasm, and passion. So make sure that you show up like that. You have to stand out. And that's what this is going to do for you. And then I wrote this down. Worrying, and I don't know if you're worrying or not. In case you are, I got to tell you this. Worrying about being a new agent and, this other agent, they've been in real estate for a long time and they sold a lot of houses. Worrying about that is going to weaken you. Think about that. It's going to make you feel inadequate. And it's going to make you feel like you're not as good as this other agent. And when you feel that way, you're going to have more thoughts and your brain is just going to give you all the reasons why you're not as good and you're not adequate and that causes you to feel even worse. And here's the reality of it. You're not going to take the listing if you show up in that state of mind. It's not going to happen because you're going to come across weak, inadequate, not as good, hesitant, weird. And that's not what a seller is looking for. They're looking for confidence. I remember when I got into real estate, I used to compete with agents in my marketplace. I knew nothing. I had never sold anything. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was going against agents that were selling 100, 200 homes a year. And was it intimidating? Oh, you bet. Did I win everyone? No, but I won some. Even my first year in real estate. And that gave me so much confidence. I'm like, oh my gosh, they listed with me. And I'm getting stronger and better. You don't win all of it, and it's okay, but you gotta show up and be at 100%. And the last thing I wrote down is you have to prep or prime yourself on your way to that appointment. You need to show up acting confident, speaking confidently, high energy and enthusiasm. Yes? So on your way to the appointment, don't be in your head worrying about it or handling problems. No. Get in your car and be listening to something that motivates you, that inspires you. My clients, they're listening to my role plays on the way to the listing appointment. Exactly what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. They're listening to that and they're getting pumped up and ready for that appointment. That's what you need to do. Prepare yourself to win. And you do that on the way to your appointments. Also, on your way to the appointment, before you get out of your car, say a few affirmations to yourself. I am a great listing agent. This listing is mine. I'm ready to take this listing at a great price and get it sold today. Talk to yourself in a positive manner because it makes you feel empowered. And when you feel empowered, you're going to show up to that appointment and you're just going to wow them. And that's what's required for you to win, no matter who you're competing against on these listing presentations. Put your comments and questions below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Press the bell next to it so you know when we upload new videos. And thank you for watching. I will see you soon.